that was the argument. It was like, you're protecting others. And as soon as that's not true, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. This argument is done. Like the verdict is in. The case has been made. As soon as we realize that this does not stop transmission, how do you stop transmission of a bloody thing that's supposed to be like the flu anyway? Which I think it's like the world, we were poisoned is what I think happened. It doesn't work. So end of story. The case has been made. Stop it. Stop it. Like, especially here in BC. Other provinces you can work, right? But we just stick to this mandate. And also, if you work on a movie set here, the employees are required to do PCR tests twice a week.
Wait, still?
Still.
No, you can't be serious.
Still. I work in a medical clinic in the daytime. Mm-hmm. And this girl called yesterday and she's like, I have to cancel my massage. I can't come in. I have COVID, where I tested positive. I said, you tested? And I started to pick her brain a little bit. I'm like, you still test? And she goes, yeah, I have to test twice a week on my job. And I said, where do you work? And she goes, I work on film sets. And I said, did you do the spit test? You know, that one that you spit into? She goes, no, we still do the PCR test. I'm like, she was so sad. I'm like, you still do this? And she goes, twice a week. I go, you're doing this nasal rape twice a week? Because that's what I call it. And she goes, I'm so over it. I'm so sick of this. Like, what is going on that they still have to do that to work on movie sets? And I told her, they ramp up the cycles and give you a false positive. And she goes, oh, I guess. I don't know. She didn't. She was just like fed up. I think I'd just get another job. But you know what? They trained to work. She was a set decorator, right? So why should she get another job? That's what she likes to do. But like, it's so, what is the word for it? Tyrannical. It's so oppressive. It's so morally wrong. I can't believe the movie industry here still has that policy in place.
Yeah.
And you don't hear about that on the news either.
No, definitely not. Sorry, I was just trying to find whether the UK actually started to enforce it, because I know some people who worked in healthcare who didn't have it due to like other medical conditions, and I'm not sure. Because it says there's like a lot of things that say strongly recommend or we will be bringing in measures, but I can't find anything that says that they definitely did it. So I'm not sure, if I'm honest.
I think from memory they did, but that's a good thing to. Well, somebody could leave it in the comments.
Hard to tell what like the truth was. So there was so much rubbish going around. Like the Northern Ireland had vaccine passports for entering bars and restaurants for about 3 weeks. That was it. Then they scrapped them because footfall was crashing through the floor because people were like that. You had to either you either had to show that you were vaccinated or that you'd had a like PCR test or like some sort of test that, or we had the quick tests that so like you had to show something that you'd been tested and have it like show up in the app, and it was for 3 weeks, and then footfall was down so heavily that they scrapped it because the entire
because nobody was playing.
The industry was like, even though it wasn't difficult to get one of those things. You could do home tests. Most people were vaccinated, etc. But people were still like, why the fuck am I being forced to show things? And also from Northern Ireland, there was a lot of skeptical people, because then who is keeping track of who is coming into the bars was something that would have been incredibly illegal or not even illegal, but incredibly, incredibly dangerous in the past in Northern Ireland because of the
how people feel about
no it's the civil war that was basically going on for 40 years where you're blowing each other up. It's like, so who was at this establishment? And if you have a list of that and it's the wrong establishment, the wrong person, like obviously that's not the case so much anymore, but there was still wariness amongst the public about it. So thankfully.
But I'm happy to hear that they're like, okay, 3 weeks and we're done. So that means that the bar owners also said, no, we're not going to play this game. Yeah. And the patrons said, we're not playing this game. Mm-hmm. So that's what we need everybody to do in the future. We don't, we over in Canada, we're so nice. We just bend over. We're like, oh, okay, I guess we have to follow the rules and put the plexiglass up and businesses were destroyed. But that's really great that in Northern Ireland, they're like, no, we're not doing this.
No, we're very stubborn.
Good. And that the government didn't come down and say, hey, implement this policy, implement this, or we'll shut you down.
They tried.
That's what they do here.
They just were straight up like, everyone was like, you're destroying our already ruined business. Like you've screwed us for 18 months straight. Like, why are you still trying to screw us? Because so many bars and restaurants closed. They'll never open again. So many taxi drivers lost their jobs because there was nothing going on in the middle of the city. No one wanted to take a taxi.
So are they happy with that? They're happy with that? That's what they wanted? That's what whoever these globalists are that did this to us, that's what you want?
Yeah.
You want us to be poor and dependent on you, or what's going on with all this, right? Like it's such a, and they'd send authorities to businesses around here, like yoga studios or whatever, whoever wanted to keep their business open, and slap them with fines and things like that. The authorities would come after you. Meanwhile, they have these strip clubs and casinos open, but the churches and gyms closed around here also. Why is the strip club open? These people are stupid. These people are not to be listened to. These anybody in power. That's why there's such a big backlash against everything now, right? People are angry. But yeah. So anyway, these kinds of things are what I was fighting against and speaking up against in at Global News, because whenever there was a restaurant here called Raleigh's, they still are in business, but they were like, no, thank you, we don't want to check the vaccine passports. And oh my God, did we ever drag them through the mud? Raleigh's, we just made them look, and it's a really popular restaurant, and we were almost, one of our anchors said, well, that's such a shame. I really like that restaurant, but I can't support them anymore. Well, if an anchor says something like that, you're going to ruin that guy's business. And they just basically were like, we don't want to check passports. We don't want to. And that should be enough. That should be enough. We're adults. But on the news, we had to blast them like they were a bunch of Satanists or something. They're not the Satanists. The Satanists are the people in enforcing these rules. Yeah,
that's the word.
Yeah.
That's the.
So then I would get in trouble for saying things like that. I'm like, what are we doing? And I would just get a lot of shut up, Anita, because so many people believed that this was about your health. Really? Are you dumb? Look, can I just tell you something? I have never taken anything, and I knock on wood, I haven't been sick in 4 years. Like in this whole COVID thing, I think I must be the only person that never got it. I wasn't even sick ever. And I was going to rallies.
Got it. I had it in what I suspect was COVID in January 2020. Because Austria had an outbreak in January 2020, about 30 to 40 minutes down the road from where I was working. And at that time, every single person who worked in the ski resort was just going down one by one. Like people I would see every day in the bar, you wouldn't see them for 2 weeks. And be like, where are they? They're in bed. And I was like, whoa. And then I got smashed with it. And I don't normally get very sick. I couldn't stand up for like 2 days. I was like getting dizzy. I couldn't get out of bed. Eventually, I was the only employee at the bar. So after 2 days, I struggled my way downstairs. I was like, fuck it, we have to open. I stood there propped up on the bar with just drinking until I felt not sick.
Oh no!
I couldn't smoke a single thing. There was nothing that I could inhale that didn't make me cough my lungs up for 20 minutes, and that was for 2 months. So I think I got it real bad. But then,
yes, you did.
I got the OG hardcore one, and everything else I was like, oh, this is easy. My immune system was clearly just we've done this before. And
yeah. Yes. See, and when you were so sick, there's medications you could have taken that would have helped you.
Yeah, well, no one. It was January 2020. People there wasn't a test for COVID. There was. I was in a ski resort. I was tired. I was run down. I was drinking too much because you were working at a bar in a ski resort.
Sure.
And I was definitely not in a healthy place. Just my body was not. Not in an ideal place to be fighting off disease. So I just thought I was sick as fuck. And I, my boss told me to drink hot schnapps. That was their remedy for me.
Okay. Oh, well, great. Yeah, more alcohol. But like, so that's January 2020, and then everything went nuts in March 2020.
Later, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the place down the road claimed that they'd contained their outbreak. And then everything was allowed to continue for 2 more months. And then they were just like, actually, no. And then everything shut down within 3 days.
Yeah. So was it like a flu, or was it like something you'd never experienced before? It sounds like it was just the worst flu you've ever had. So it almost ever had. That's what everybody says. Yeah. My cousin got it too, but she was already taking hydroxychloroquine, like for something else. And then she got better really fast. And then she told me that. She's like, oh my gosh, I got better. Like, I think it's because I take hydroxychloroquine. Like, she didn't know. No one was telling her. Then when I went to the news and I told some of the anchors and producers there, I'm like, this might actually work. And you know what I got? Shut up, Anita. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't. How do you know it doesn't work? Are you a doctor? You stupid tool. God, I get so mad when I think about, I just brought it up. I just said, hey, my cousin took this and she got better, right? Like, she thinks she got better from it. And I just was torn a new one for saying that.
It's amazing. Because that reaction to any other disease would be like, oh, interesting. Do you know what I mean? Someone was like, oh, I got the flu, and the way I cured it, I put some
peach schnapps.
I'll put some peach schnapps, or oh no, it's not peach schnapps. That's weak stuff compared to what they're suggesting. Like, peach schnapps is like 18%. No. This is the 45% high quality pear schnapps they were wanting me to drink.
Oh, okay, that sounds amazing.
It's like paint stripper. It's awful. But if you say I was like, oh, I was really sick. I had this awful fever, and what I did was I took some chili and put it on a head mask and wore it around my head, and I was better the next morning. Everyone would be like, oh, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. And in this case, it was like, don't be spreading misinformation.
That because everybody was all Trump derangement syndrome, because I think he talked about hydroxychloroquine, and God forbid, like at the time, if he said anything, it was considered to be stupid. But really, if you are a journalist, then you have to go, then what they should have done is got a camera on my cousin and did a little clip to just say, hey, this one local woman says that she got better by using this, and then you go and then clip a doctor. So go interview a doctor and put a story together. You stupid idiots. You stupid people. Because they didn't do that, so many people got sick from this, and so many people were suffering. And I feel like you were poisoned, probably. Like this, whatever they were spreading around here, created in a laboratory, but not even created in the States, I believe. They've been working on this for a long time, and I think they probably just poisoned. That's what I feel. I feel like they spread this contagion, maybe in the subways, maybe, because you cannot have a pandemic because there's too much good hygiene, hand washing. A disease is not going to spread this way, human to human. It just is not possible in this day and age with sanitation that we have. You can spread a cold, but you cannot spread a pandemic to this degree. So I believe that they were probably poisoning people and saying it's a bad virus.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for making it right the way to the end of the podcast. I love that you tuned in this long. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, because 80% of you bastards are not subscribing, but you're watching my videos. See you next time.